Welcome, guys. Welcome to another HexCast. I'm hoping everything worked out to where I am using the green screen at this time before I get the proper setup up and running. And I'm probably going to be using this background for really all my videos. So I decided to throw myself into the HexCast this time around. Remember, this is more like a talk show / podcast, so it's not really all, it's not going to have all the cuts. It's not going to have all the fancy smancy stuff. Podcasts are usually pretty raw. There's not really much editing going on in podcasts. So today we're going to be talking about, and by the way, before we move on too far, I do have a new HexCast shirt if you guys want to help support the podcast and help support me and help me, make this a career and so on and so forth. Check my link down below for my merchandise store. I'll have the link in the comment section and or the description. It'll be the first link in the description. So, yeah. But moving on to really where I wanted to take this podcast. So, man, first off, I hope you guys like the background if it works out. But Hina. Hina's a character in Domestic Girlfriend that I really haven't talked to a lot of you guys about quite yet on a deeper level. I may have made one video mentioning how I always felt as if Hina was a girl in Domestic Girlfriend that never really truly got a fair chance. And I mean, I think we all know what I'm referring to in terms of the first go around with the relationship. You had her and Natsuo, of course, loving each other. The feeling was mutual. It's like written in a book. No pun intended, since it was written in a book, a manga. But we all know that they had to separate, because if she would not have separated and left Natsuo, then whenever the school found out, she would have been put in a position to where she would have compromised Nachos Dreams, and she did not want to do that. We know that she wants to even hold on to Nachos Dreams now, where we are present day. I mean, like 5 chapters ago, she said that she would hold on to Nachos Dreams, and we know that Natsuo stated this, his dream is becoming a professional novelist, right? And we know that Hina, it would have been such a big scandal if she would have stuck around, because they would have had to report it to the public. They would have had to known why this teacher left the school, so on and so forth, and all these different things, and that would have made his book sell, but it wouldn't have been for the right intentions. And even if his writing was good, it was professional level, as people bought it, they wouldn't have viewed it as such. And that's why we saw what happened with Natsuo's book after they found out he was the person that actually got stabbed. He was, they bought his book, it sold like crazy, great, he made a lot of money, but what didn't happen was the respect. People bought it for a different reason. And then even though the book was well written, they overlooked, how well written the book was. So looking at Hina now, though, and I know I was going on a little bit of tangent there about Natsuo's book, looking at Hina now, she wasn't even given a fair chance now, because now she's supposed to be this big sister role. We see that, Serizawa is now the catalyst to reinventing Natsuo. She made a comment about how Natsuo is a writer and how he knows how stories go, so he should be able to really feel the atmosphere, she was explaining to him, describing to him. And that shows that, Serizawa was actually the catalyst for Natsuo to get his, writing back. And Hina is actually the holder. So Serizawa is the key, and Hina's just holding the lock. And if Hina were to drop the lock would just keep falling and never to be, never to be able to be unlocked again, Natsuo's writing ability. And Hina's being put in such a older sister role right now. We get to see it through the dialogue, their interactions, even whether there could be a lewd-esque interaction, they make it some goofy interaction now instead of what they would do in the past with that intense atmosphere they would put there. They put us in a position to where Hina's also, just saying, as long as Natsuo is happy, I'll be happy. And those are things that we did not get to see before with Hina. We got to see Hina advancing on him. We get to see Hina thinking about Serizawa now. Will that make something happen? Maybe. But, even more so than that, since Serizawa's been put in a picture, and now Hina's been doing this sisterly role, she's had the author against her. She's also had her sister Rui kind of against her. We know that Rui ended up getting with Natsuo after Hina. Sure, we know that. We understand that. We totally understand that Rui, she's a little sister, and younger siblings get away with shit, man. That's this, one of the main concepts behind the relationships within Domestic Girlfriend, I think, has been realism. I think the author really targeted realism, because yes, this is a crazy drama-filled story, but everything that happens could be true, and it could really essentially happen. So whenever I'm looking at Domestic Girlfriend, and when I'm looking at Hina and Natsuo now, I'm seeing a girl that's being put into a corner, between Serizawa, between the author, and between Rui as well. Because Rui, once again, like I have been talking about and discussing, Rui is the younger sister. She gets away with it, gets away with shit. But yeah, at the same time, the older sibling never does. There's always a a realistic turn within the romantic atmosphere of the show, and that's cool. That's really cool to see. I mean, so now Rui actually told Hina to promise her that she would not hurt Rui. Now, does Hina know Rui still has feelings for Natsuo? Guys, the way she described breaking up, the way she was crying just before, all this stuff happened, and how she didn't tell Hina, how it was clearly showed that she didn't want to talk about it. And you think Hina did not catch on that Rui didn't really want to talk about it? And yeah, that's why she broke up with him and then left within the day. She didn't want to talk about it. She knew that Hina wouldn't see Natsuo, and she knows. Older siblings know. She knows. She even promised Rui she wouldn't do anything, and that promise is still there. Hina would not make a move before Rui gets back, and it's just so unfair in a way, because Hina has not truly gotten a full-on chance, because ever since she even got back and she sent Natsuo that letter, she's still been sitting there and watching Rui and Natsuo dating. And now they finally broke up. And guess what? And now he's apparently with Serizawa. And guess what? Oh, wait, I can't talk to my sister about how I want to make a move on Natsuo, even if I wanted to. That's the kind of position that Hina's in. And it sucks for her. It 100% sucks for Hina. She's in such a weird place, and we don't know what's going through Hina's head. We have not, we saw the Serizawa thing, how she's, freaking out about it, but we never got dialogue to showcase what she's truly feeling. They did it in another comedic aspect. It's almost as if the author is actually trying to write Hina out so she can die down the fan base's passion for Hina. I mean, because everyone loved Hina. It was split between Hina and Rui, and then Rui did what she did. People betrayed Rui. They said, we don't like Rui anymore. Now we're on Hina's side. And oh wait, Serizawa, wow, you're a pretty cool girl. Now people are on Serizawa's side. People are still on Hina's side, but it's like the author is trying to cross her out as much as she can. I mean, that's just by judging by the writing she's given us, how she's changed the tone in the atmosphere between Natsuo and Hina. So it's pretty crazy to see that the author is going that route. Yes, the story is called Domestic Girlfriend, but at the same time, I've seen shows that have certain titles, but they did not pan out how you would have thought. So you never want to use, but this isn't a title, because you never know. I mean, just because it's titled something doesn't mean it has to end that way. We already had the domestic relationships. We already had the domestic girlfriends, not just domestic girlfriend, domestic girlfriends. So you see what I'm saying? The title is Domestic Girlfriend, but yet he's had two domestic relationships. See, the title doesn't always correlate to how the story is gonna go or conclude. Now it's gonna play a role, and we saw that Domestic Girlfriend. He's got he's been in domestic relationships. So, but we don't know if it's gonna end that way. So I mean, think about it. I mean, it's just things like that. You never truly know for sure. It's just, you got to be careful with that. And the third and last thing I really want to discuss when it comes to Hina and her relationship and how she's kind of been put in a shitty spot. We've already discussed how the writer, the author has kind of just changed the atmosphere and relationship and the dialogue and everything in between, Natsuo and Hina. We've already described how now she's in a hard place because Rui is the ex-boyfriend, the ex-girlfriend, her younger sister, who is dating him for a far longer amount of time than Hina was. So Hina's in a hard spot. And the last thing, Hina is in an even harder spot because there's probably only about 30 to 40 chapters left. So I was going over this with my editor, actually, Ikwa. Go check out his YouTube channel if you can. But I was stating that we're on volume, let's see, 24. We're right around 24. No, we're going to be 25. That, chapter 234 was that will be volume 5 whenever they publish volume 5 for the manga. And the author stated that it will not go to volume 30. Each volume is about 10 chapters long. So it means at most we have 40 chapters left. At most. So what if we're not even going to volume 29? What if we're going to volume 28? Well, then we got like 30 chapters left. And another thing is, the time's not on Hina's side either. Because I look at this, and every relationship in this show has lasted 30 chapters at least. So, and we know that the author likes to take her time. We know that she's likes to set relationships. Hina being an example, Rui being an example, and of course Serizawa being the latest example. She likes to take her time whenever she's creating these relationships, and she likes to give her audience what they want. She knows she has shippers, so she's going to stretch the relationships out so she can showcase the relationships to those shippers. So, as always, guys, hope you guys did enjoy the video. This is the HexCast. Hope you guys like the new look. I'll see you guys next time. Peace, and hopefully that damn background worked out, or else I'm putting something else there. I want the bar theme, the cool, relaxed, chill theme. See you guys. Thanks for watching, guys.